isolated.
You don't need to be scared.
Tell me that next time you hear the ghost in the middle of the night. Jack?
Hello everyone, today I'm breaking down a haunting psychological horror mystery film called Marrowbone, also known as The Secret of Marrowbone. This movie has a gripping concept that pulls you in and refuses to let go until the final moment. It holds a 6.7 rating on IMDb. The story begins in 1968 in rural Maine, where Rose Fairbairn arrives at her childhood home with her 4 children, Jack, Jane, Billy, and Sam. This new home is called the Marrowbone Residence. As soon as they settle in, Rose tells them their surname will no longer be Fairbairn. From now on, they are Marrowbone. It's her maiden name, and changing it is the only way she believes they can escape their terrible past and start over again. But little Sam asks the question they all fear. Will he ever find us? Rose insists he won't. Everything dark is behind them now. Time passes and the family begins to feel alive again. One day, the siblings meet Allie, a nearby girl who quickly becomes their friend and instantly captures Jack's heart. They play, laugh, explore, and with one photograph Allie takes, it almost feels like their past has finally faded. But after a few days, Rose's health begins to worsen. She becomes seriously ill, and before dying, she calls her eldest son, Jack. She tells him that no matter what happens, he must never separate from his siblings. Jack promises her he will never leave them and will always stay with them. His mother then instructs him that if she dies, he must bury her in the garden and never tell anyone about her death, not until he turns 21, because only then will he become their legal guardian. Before she passes, she gives Jack one last warning. If he ever finds them, Jack must hand over the box kept in the cupboard. Jack opens the cupboard and finds the box filled with a large amount of money, an enormous sum for 1968, and a letter their mother wrote for her children. And now it becomes clear they were running from someone. After their mother's death, Jack reads the letter to his siblings, urging them to care for one another and stay united. Days later, a bullet suddenly shoots through Jane's window, missing her. She sees a man outside, the same one they've been hiding from, and calls for Jack. The scene jumps 6 months ahead. Sam looks toward a mirror they keep covered because he sees ghosts in it. The cloth suddenly slips off on its own, terrifying him. He insists the ghost is here, but Jane says they haven't seen anything for months. After their mother's death, the siblings survive by baking cakes, and Jack takes them into town to sell. One day, Jack goes to town to sell cakes, and since Allie's farm is on the way, he stops to see her. Another day, while delivering cakes, he waits at her farm but doesn't find her there, so he continues into town. At a cafe, he sells his cakes, and the shop owner asks about his mother's health. Jack obviously lies, saying she's fine, which shows he hasn't told anyone about her death. After that, Jack heads to the library, where he meets Allie, and we realize their bond is more than friendship. They're in love. While they're together, Tom, the town's lawyer and the legal overseer of the Marrowbone residence, arrives. Tom also works for the estate and clearly has feelings for Allie, though she doesn't feel the same. Her heart belongs to Jack. As Tom leaves, he spots Jack and tells him he'll come to their house tomorrow to collect transfer charges, plus $200. Jack tries to explain his mother is sick, but Tom doesn't believe him. He's been delaying this for too long. Jack rushes home and tells his siblings. They panic. Their mother can't sign, and they don't have $200. Jack then remembers the box their mother left, though she believed its money was cursed. Still, they decide to use it. Billy brings the box, overflowing with cash, and Jane begins practicing how to forge their mother's signature. The next day, Tom arrives, and Jack stops him outside, handing him the $200. Jack tells him his mother is sick and asks him to wait while he brings the signed papers. Tom agrees, and Jack rushes upstairs where his sister signs the documents. Jack gives the papers to Tom, and after checking them, Tom suspects nothing and leaves. That evening, the siblings celebrate, but while playing, Sam goes downstairs after hearing noises. He sees a shadow and tells everyone the ghost has returned. Terrified, they hide in their bedroom. The next day, Allie is heading somewhere when Tom arrives and offers her a ride. She refuses at first, but he insists, and she finally gets in. Tom asks how long she has known the Marrowbone siblings. Allie says she's known them a long time, and when he asks about their father, she explains she doesn't know much, only that he was cruel, which is why they never lived with him. That evening, Sam misses his mother and Jack comforts him. They signal Allie's farmhouse with a flashlight and she signals back, making Sam laugh. One day, Jack and Allie meet and she asks about his father. Jack reveals he was a monster who tormented them in England. When she asks if he's still alive, Jack says he's dead and can't hurt them anymore. Jack grows emotional and Allie kisses him, something Tom secretly watches from afar, jealous. Later at home, Billy asks Jack where he went. Jack doesn't answer, but Billy knows he saw Allie and jealousy sparks between them. The brothers argue and nearly fight until Jane steps in and stops them. After this, we see Sam in his mother's room, climbing onto a chair when he slips and falls, only to suddenly see a ghost in the mirror. Meanwhile, Jack wakes up after being unconscious for hours. Jane and Billy are talking about Sam when Jack walks in and asks what's going on. Jane tells him that Sam saw the ghost in the mirror again, and she believes it's their father, possibly trying to kill them. Jack argues their father is dead and can't hurt anyone, but Jane insists his ghost can, and the only way to bring him peace is by burying him properly. Jack refuses to listen because of the terrible things their father did to them before. The next day, Ellie is at the library when Tom stops her and pulls her into another room. He shows her 2 plane tickets to America. He wants to take her away because he's landed a good job there. But Ellie firmly refuses, hurting Tom, who leaves behind a stack of newspaper clippings. They reveal Jack's father abused his children, went to prison, escaped, and is still alive. So why did Jack claim he was dead? Something dark was happening inside the Marrowbone residence. The next morning, Jane hears noises in the attic and climbs up through a ceiling hole. She finds a raccoon before something drags it away, terrifying her. Meanwhile, Tom gets a call from his boss saying they no longer need employees. They need partners. Tom could buy 10% of the firm, but the share costs $5,000, and he doesn't have the money. If he can't buy in, he'll be fired. Hearing this, Tom becomes tense and notices a newspaper clipping about Jack's father. During a criminal investigation, $100 had gone missing, and the money was with Jack's dad. Tom rushes to Jack's house and demands compensation, but Jack insists he has no money. Tom threatens him, saying Jack does have $100 and that he knows everything. These were the same cursed bills kept in their box, the money that once belonged to Jack's father, which Jack's mother secretly took for emergencies. Tom demands the money and leaves, but Jack no longer has it. After using that money, Jack and his siblings suffered one disaster after another. They believed the cash was cursed with their father's vengeful spirit, so Jack threw it all into the chimney to protect them. Hearing this, Billy goes to retrieve it, crawling through the chimney into the attic, where he finds the box, but runs into a real living man who attacks him. Billy barely escapes. Jack wakes to find Billy injured. Billy reveals their father survived, hiding in the attic, killing rats and raccoons, drinking rainwater and staying alive all this time. That night, Jack signals Ellie to meet him the next day at their old spot, but when she arrives, neither Jack nor his siblings are there. Only a book titled Our Story, written by Jack. Inside it lies the whole truth. When Jack's father was sent to prison, the family fled to the Marrowbone residence. But their father was a cruel man, and even after the move, they could never truly forget him. Meanwhile, Jack's father escaped from prison, and the criminal investigation revealed something even worse. He had impregnated Jane, meaning he had abused her. That's how cruel he was, and why the children lived in constant fear of him. After Jack's mother passed away, their father returned. Remember the opening scene when someone shot at Jane's window and the story suddenly jumped 6 months ahead? That shooter was Jack's father. When the bullet hit the window, Jane screamed for Jack, terrified because her father had already done terrible things to her. Jack immediately realized his father had come for the money, the same $100, so he locked his siblings in the attic to keep them safe. He then went to give the money box to his father, but his father attacked him brutally. Jack begged him not to hurt his siblings, but his father pushed him off the upper floor, leaving him unconscious with a deep head injury. When Jack awoke and ran to the attic, it was too late. His father had killed all 3 siblings. You might wonder who Jack had been talking to all this time. After witnessing everything, Jack broke. He tried to end his own life, but because of the head injury and trauma, he began imagining his siblings. They appeared alive to him. He even developed multiple personality disorder, speaking in their voices and believing they were truly there. When Jack saw what his father had done, rage consumed him, and he sealed his father inside the attic behind a wall. Now, it's clear why Jack always believed his father was dead, Anyone trapped behind a wall, left to starve, would seem doomed. But Jack's father survived, drinking rainwater and eating rats and raccoons. That's why strange noises haunted the house. Jack's mind filled with illusions, making him feel his siblings were still there. All the mirrors were covered so he'd never see the truth. If he had, he'd know they were gone. Jack was always the one visiting Ellie. His siblings couldn't because they were dead. Ellie, seeing this, is heartbroken. She had been friends with them too and hadn't suspected anything. Then Tom comes to claim the money, discovers the attic wall, and is stunned when Jack breaks it open to reveal the siblings' bodies. Voices echo. Ellie finds Tom dying. She was too shocked, and suddenly Jack's father attacks her too. Jack arrives just in time, shooting his own crooked father. Days later, the scene shifts to a hospital. Doctor explains to Ellie that Jack has 3 additional personalities, the personalities of his siblings. The doctor advised Ellie not to stay with Jack, suggesting she could be with someone else, but she refused, choosing to stay because she truly loved him. She gave Jack a photo of him with his siblings, bringing him joy, though he was still imagining them. Ellie hadn't given him the medication, knowing his pain was too deep. He needed to feel their presence. She vowed to care for him forever. Marrowbone ends as a chilling psychological horror story. Their surname was changed to escape their cruel father and Rose's husband, hiding from their past. The ghosts Sam saw in the mirror were illusions. Jack couldn't see his siblings, only their voices in his reflection. Mirrors were covered to prevent him from realizing they were gone. After Jack was injured by his father, the trauma created his siblings' personalities within him. The night the shot rang out, his siblings were killed, yet 6 months later, Jack's mind kept them alive. He made cakes, went to town alone, and protected Ellie from the truth. It's a haunting tale of love, grief, and survival, showing the mind's desperate ways to cope with loss and preserve hope, even in the darkest moments. If this twisted tale of love, loss, and madness chilled you to the bone, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Dare your friends to watch Marrowbone's dark secrets unfold.